What is up, YouTube? It is Baseball Nerd back with another MLB The Show video. Today's video should be somewhat short. It's just going over my settings very quickly. Not crazy settings here that are going to make you an elite hitter or an elite pitcher or anything like that. These are just the basic settings for guys that are new to the show. I got this requested a couple times, so I wanted to go through it really fast with you guys and just let you know what I think is the best settings for most of these things and then talk through some of them. So let's jump right into the video. First things first, how to get to your settings. Top right corner, you see that little settings gear. I'm on with the red. It's highlighted in red now. Click on settings. Go to your settings. Gameplay is where we're going to spend most of our time. Hitting difficulty to start off, you can change it to anything here. If you're newer to the game, I suggest maybe veteran. I think rookie is too low. It'll get you kind of, waiting too far back and slow on pitches because the pitch speed's so slow in this. I feel like it's almost worse to go to rookie. At lowest, I would start off at veteran. All-star is where I do most of my conquests and things like that are offline to grind because I just want to keep at least on pace with being good to hit on BR because Battle Royale BR is on All-Star. So All-Star is the minimum I try to go to keep my timing down, but Hall of Fame is where I try to practice sometimes just to make myself better because I'm not the greatest hitter out there by any means. Hitting view, this one a lot of people have different opinions on. I think strike zone is one of the most used and it's my favorite. Strike zone 2 and strike zone high are two that other people like to use as well. I think both of them are fine. I like strike zone personally. It just gives you closer view of the pitcher. You can see the ball out of his hand better. Everything is, enlarged kind of. So you don't get to see your whole batter's body, which kind of sucks. Some people like to see the aesthetic of like a real game, but you can't see your hitter's body. But it is the best for actually being competitive and hitting the ball. In-play view on offense, I like high. I like the way it looks. I know a couple people use high, but not everybody does. Some people use medium. Some people use other different views, dynamic, stuff like that. I like high. That's my favorite. Try some of them out and see which one you like the best. Everybody's different. This one doesn't really necessarily matter. It just gives you a view of the ball and the play after you put the ball in play when you're hitting. This is the big one, hitting interface. You got to be using zone. You have to be using zone. Pure analogs, using the right stick to swing back and forth to swing. Directional is just, moving the left stick to focus where you want to focus and then clicking a button to swing. But zone is the only one that gives you the ability to move a PCI over the ball so you get your contact is all user input and your swing timing with a button at the same time. So you're tracking the ball and swinging, which gives you all control. You get all control over your hitting, how well you're doing or how not well you're doing, because you get to pick the contact spot and you get to pick your timing. So it's the best to use. It may be hard at first, but you will get better and you won't have to rely on the game's timing or its contact for you or your card's abilities. It's all on you to make up for it with your own hitting. And so it might start off, a little rough, but you will figure it out and you will get going and then you'll be able to pick up the slack on some of your cards or some of your games by your own hitting ability. It just gives you so much control. It's really the best option. Now coming down here, you have your plate coverage indicator, which is your PCI. I think most people have this on. I know some people use it off just to, try different things, but I think having your PCI on is the best bet here. I'm going to have to shout out Ochev here. He's another YouTuber, streamer, and he had the settings a year ago, and I kind of copied his. I tried a bunch of different ones. I've tried no center. I've tried different inners. I like basic as well, but wedge with no outer. I like this color. I like this transparency. I think his is 100%, so I didn't completely copy him, but pretty close. And then fade out the outer. But everyone changes it up. This is just like the center of your PCI, the smallest part of it. And then the wedge, the inner is a little bit bigger, and then the outer is way bigger. I don't think you really need the outer. The inner and the center is my favorite part of it. The center and the inner used to be all that was on the screen, so I kind of like it this way as well. And I think it's the best bet to go with that. Color you can mess around with. Transparency you can mess around with as well. But even these you can mess around with. I like circles because I want to have a little something to aim at the ball. More specifically, aim small, miss small. And then the inner wedge just gives me more of an icon to move around when I'm kind of soft focused in when I'm hitting. Moving on to pitching. As you see, again, it's on Hall of Fame. I'm using pure analog as my pitching interface. A lot of people this year, man, are using pinpoint pitching. It's probably the most accurate. It's supposed to be the most accurate. But for me, I can't seem to get it down. I'm going to keep trying it offline, but I'm working at it, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. I don't think this is going to be it for me. I'm just not that great at it. I don't love it, and it's just not for me particularly, at least at this point. It may be in the future. Meter is supposed to be more accurate than pure analog, the one I use, but I used to use meter a long time ago. I used it a lot, but then I got switched over to pure analog when everyone said it was the best in the game before there was pinpoint. And I just like going down with my analog and then shooting it back up to the circle. I think it works smooth. I like it. And it seems to be fairly accurate this year. I think it even works better than last year, and it seems to be accurate. So maybe it's better this year. I don't know. I feel like the difference between pure analog and meter doesn't seem to be too big. Pinpoint, when you're perfect, seems to be a little more perfect than these two. But I feel like they're not as big of a difference between each interface as I thought there was going to be coming into the year. So we'll have to see how that plays out going on. But so far, so good with pure analog. I like this one a lot. Meter is just where you click X, you start a meter, you have to click it at the bottom and then over the yellow line. And then the pinpoint is the one where you have to swing your analog stick all around in different directions for different pitches and then zoom it back down to the circle to be accurate. Pitch feedback I leave on. Pitching view, this one everyone uses different ones. Some people use outfield, some people use strike zone 1, 2, or 3, or strike zone high. Some people use pitcher center, pitcher offset. A lot of different ones people use for this one. I leave it at strike zone because that's my hitting view, and I like to see as many pitches coming in on that same view. I think it helps me lock in at the plate when I'm playing ranked seasons or something like that, because I get to see pitches coming into that same view over and over and over again. And I think it just gets my eye a little more locked in going on into the game. Pitching ball marker, there's different ways. You can go mess around with this and see which one you like more. I don't think there's one way to do this. I like classic on, so it shows the baseball and it shows some arrows of where the ball is going to move, or no arrows if I'm throwing a four-seam fastball, and I get to place it where I want and then throw my pitch. Pitch trail just shows a red trail from your pitcher's hand to where the ball is going to land, so sometimes you can't always see the full curvature of the ball, but on some of them you can. It's kind of hard to tell. That's why I like classic on, because you get to see the exact break and movement of your pitch, whereas the pitch trail just shows the movement it's going to have as it's coming into home plate. So you don't always see it from the right angle, and that's why I like classic on. The rest of these you can just copy, and then moving into fielding, button accuracy is a big one. Button accuracy is just a setting to throw to each base with the same way it would match up if there's a little diamond on your controller here. Home, first, second, third, that's just button accuracy. Moving down here, we have the throwing meter, which I suggest turning on. It's just a little meter that goes above your fielder's head. You hold the button of the base you want to throw it to, and you let go right in the middle at green, and it throws it to the base every time. If you don't turn this on, you're risking your guy throwing the ball away or not making an accurate throw enough to get the out. And if you turn this on, if you hit green, you will get every out. You won't throw the ball away ever as long as you're on. It's another thing where as long as you can control it, you can get better at it, and therefore you don't have to rely on the game to screw you out of any outs. Fielding decision I have on assist. Throwing decision you have on off. In play view, defense is the same as offense. Once the ball is put in play, it decides what view you have. I have mine set on dynamic. I don't know what I used to have it set on in the old game. I think I had it set on medium or high like my offense, but I'm going to leave it on dynamic for now. Throw canceling you want to have on in case you decide to throw to first and maybe the guy from second takes off to go to third. You can cancel it and throw it to third. It's nice to have on so you don't get stuck in any animation. One button dive and jump, I turned this off. R1 and R2 for jump and dive is the way it is, and if you turn this on, you're going to press that and you will do either or depending on what the game makes you do, because you're going to have one button set to both of them. I don't recommend that. Auto infield and dive and jump reaction, I would leave this on because the camera might not whip around quick enough for you to see a ball smoked at your third baseman or your first baseman, and this will have them react and jump before you have the chance to do it, just to help you out in plays they should make, but you might not have time with the camera spinning to make the right call. So I would say to leave this on. Catch position indicator, I like drifting ball. There's this new, there's this new one called track ball, which is the little blue line, and the ball comes over it, and you just you got to get somewhere in that blue line and follow where the ball and the blue line meet up, and that's where the ball is going to be caught at. I just like the drifting ball because that's what I'm used to, and I don't see any problems with it, so that's why I'm staying here. Defensive shift, everybody knows what the shift is in baseball. The infield and the outfield shift to one side of the field depending on maybe a pull hitter from the left side or the right side. I leave this on manual. I like to set it up myself. I feel like sometimes the shift screws you in this game when someone goes opposite way with it. Not only do I think it can screw you at times, I just like to pick on the shift myself, because if I'm playing somebody and I'm noticing they're late a lot, I don't want to put a shift on them, even if they have a big, pull hitter guy up like Joey Gallo or something. I'm not going to put a shift on if my opponent's late on everything and have him send a little fluke flare line drive thingy mabobber over to the left side of the field. So that's why I like to just do it on my own and see what my opponent's doing and kind of make my decision based off of that, because you can always throw a shift on manually in game. Off the wall ribbon, I leave it on. It just shows the ball coming off any of the outfield walls. It gives you a little ribbon to show you where the ball would be bouncing, so you can line up with that, get the ball right off the wall and throw it in as quickly as possible. General gameplay style, I have it on competitive, so hopefully it means it's more user stick skills and not as much RNG and game deciding what happens to me. It's more on me. Fielding aids I have on off. Strike zone on, hot zones off. Wind I just turn off. Warm-up relievers I have on. I honestly don't know if it matters for online play. I could turn it off. I don't think it really matters though. New level, standard. I have all the tips turned off. If you have tutorials or tips that you need, turn them on for now and skip through them. If you don't want them, you can always turn them off or come back and turn them off, or just turn them off in game. So yeah, that is all the settings for gameplay. I have one more setting I'm going to go through for anybody that likes to just chill and maybe listen to music or streams or YouTubes while they play the game, and that's over in audio video. I turn all my sounds off. I don't like listening to the commentary or the music of the game or the PA or the crowd or all these different sounds. I just like the sound effects. I just like to listen to the crack of the bat, the ball coming in, the catches by the fielders. I like to listen to all that stuff. Anything pertaining to the ball hitting a glove or hitting a bat, I like to listen to that. So I leave that on. Everything else I turn off, because I'm either listening to music or listening to a stream. So I don't like to listen to all those sounds going on in game, especially the music in the menus. So that was my quick little run through of the settings here in MLB The Show 21. I hope that helped anybody that's starting out with the game, Xbox or PlayStation. I'm glad you guys are here. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and come back for more MLB The Show content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.